Musonius Rufus, that one should disdain hardships, the teachings of a Roman Stoic. Delve into the world of Stoicism and discover its secrets to living a virtuous and fulfilling life in the summary of That One Should Disdain Hardships, the Teachings of a Roman Stoic by Musonius Rufus. This book explores the practical lessons of Stoicism, emphasizing the importance of ethics and the application of theory to daily life. By learning to control our reactions to external events and focusing on cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, self-control, and justice, we can achieve true happiness and reach our full human potential. Musonius' teachings also challenge societal norms by emphasizing the equality of men and women in the pursuit of virtue.
The practical lessons of Stoicism. Philosophy is not just about understanding the world, but about how we act upon that understanding. The Roman Stoics, particularly Musonius Rufus, believed that philosophy's value is inextricably linked to its practical application in our daily lives. Rather than theoretical debates, ethics and principles governing behavior were Stoics' main focus. The tenets of Stoicism teach that reason is the key to virtue, and the only good in life. While we cannot control uncontrollable events such as illness or death, we can control how we respond to them with serenity and cheerfulness. In essence, to choose philosophy is to choose a path towards true happiness. The practical skills of virtue. The concept of virtue, for Stoics, is not only a quality but also practical skills that every human can master. The four practical skills of virtue are the love of truth, justice, courage, and self-control. Musonius, a Stoic philosopher, emphasizes that living virtuously is not limited to an elite group of people but is open to all. The idea that every human desires to be virtuous suggests that it is hardwired into our nature. Training is the key to realizing our desire for virtue. Practice makes perfect. Musonius argues that practice trumps theory, not only in medicine but also in achieving virtues such as self-control, courage, and justice. He asserts that real-world experience is necessary to learn and develop these virtues, which cannot be acquired solely through theoretical knowledge. Musonius begins his lecture by presenting two doctors, one who is well versed in medical theory but has never treated a patient, and the other who may not be as eloquent but has actual experience in treating patients. He poses the question of which doctor one would seek out if they were ill, highlighting the importance of practice over theory, not just in medicine but also in achieving virtues. Musonius then analogizes this principle to other fields, such as hiring a ship pilot or a musician. The rhetorical questions make it clear that real-world experience is preferred over theoretical knowledge. The author argues that this principle should apply to achieving virtues as well, specifically self-control, courage, and justice. Musonius believes that one cannot merely study or talk about these virtues, they must be practiced in daily life. To be just, one must reject selfishness and greed in their actions. To be courageous, one must confront fearful situations. The only way to give virtue substance and meaning is by practicing them. The author concludes by asserting that only through practice can virtues be acquired, and theoretical knowledge is not enough. Musonius's lecture emphasizes the importance of applying knowledge to the real world and reinforces the idea that practice makes perfect. Breaking the chains of patriarchy. Musonius, an ancient philosopher, presents a novel idea about the equality of men and women. He argues that philosophy promotes virtue, and therefore, both men and women ought to study it. In contrast to common assumptions, he believes that both sexes are equally capable of leading a life of virtue. Through an argumentative lecture that exposes hypocrisy, Musonius presents a case for the importance of allowing women to access the means of training themselves in virtue. The rewards of virtue. Musonius, a Stoic philosopher, believes that while choosing the path to virtuousness may not be easy, it is worth the effort. According to him, pursuing vice and evil ends involves just as much effort as pursuing noble ends. Therefore, it is wiser to pick the former. By choosing vice over virtue, people expend their time and energy on fleeting and dubious short-term rewards and pleasures, sacrificing their long-term happiness. Musonius compares this exchange to that made by acrobats who somersault over upturned swords or balance on tight ropes strung between high buildings. The rewards of living virtuously outweigh the costs, and only the second course of action will give you something from which you will profit throughout your life. Choosing vice in morally questionable situations can not only result in sacrificing long-term happiness but also be considered absurd when compared to pursuing virtuousness. The simple life. In his practical thinking, Musonius talks about the virtue of moderation, particularly in relation to our everyday relationship with food. Musonius believes that a simple diet not only leads to better health but also a better life. He argues that the culinary arts are artificial and contrary to nature, leading us to neglect the purpose of food, which is to sustain life. A nutritious and simple diet that is quick and easy to prepare, such as raw vegetables, nuts, and honey, is all that we need to be healthy and happy. By indulging in elaborate and expensive meals that prioritize pleasure, we sacrifice our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being and act in contradiction to the virtue of moderation. Living in accordance with nature. Musonius, an ancient philosopher, explained that Stoicism enables humans to reach their potential by living in harmony with nature. He argued that the perfect realization of human nature could only be understood by examining the virtues of the best humans and comparing them to other animals. According to Musonius, humans exist not for pleasure but to live a life devoted to virtues that reason makes possible, such as wisdom, courage, self-control, and justice.
In conclusion, Musonius Rufus' teachings provide invaluable guidance in living a life of virtue and aligning our actions with Stoic principles. He encourages us to focus on the four key virtues: wisdom, courage, self-control, and justice, and demonstrates that it is possible for anyone, regardless of their gender or social status, to live a virtuous life. Through compelling examples and practical wisdom, Musonius shows us that the rewards of embracing Stoicism and living virtuously far outweigh the costs, and that the key to true happiness lies in striving to be the best version of ourselves. So, why not embark on this journey toward a fulfilling and meaningful life by embracing the teachings of Musonius Rufus, and reaping the benefits of Stoicism?